Welcome to our home, guys. So today I wanted to share our house with you guys. Our home is so important to me, especially we just recently bought a house July of 2022, so just a couple months ago, about 5 months ago, and it's taken lots of time to kind of settle in, get a routine, get a rhythm, figure out what we want to do with the space. But I wanted to share a couple thoughts I had on home and what I've learned, as well as how to go about approaching, establishing a space for you and your family. I'm excited to show you where we're at, and obviously there's a lot more that we want to do, but this is where we are right now.
Being a part of a family. So that's the one. And then I like being just all day by myself. So that's the 2. And then I like snuggling with my mom. That's the 3. My favorite house I like to play is in the room.
In your bedroom?
Yeah, in my bedroom. Yeah. And I like to read books. What do you like to do, Eve?
Now, I am by no means an expert in anything related to home design. I don't even like to DIY, but I wanted to share just a little bit of what our space looks like, as we're going to be sharing more about family and home, and obviously recipes. 4 main keys that I've discovered in the process, and as I've really spent a ton of time thinking through how I want to approach our space and our home. So the first of the 4 keys that I would say is discovering your style. Now, there are so many styles out there, but I find it helpful once you kind of see what you like to research, especially on Pinterest, and get inspiration from those specific styles. So I lean on the Scandinavian style with a little bit of a modern flair. What I like about it is it's minimal, there's clean lines, it's super simple, but it doesn't compromise on functionality, and it doesn't compromise on aesthetics. So I love that it's visually appealing, and I also like that it's very focused on more of the neutral and natural colors. I feel like natural lighting, any kind of natural materials that you can incorporate in your home, it just feels way more homey to me personally. And then also the feeling that you want to give off in your home. So feeling is really important to me as well. And I love the idea of people walking into our home and feeling inspired, calm, relaxed, creative. I think especially for my kids, I want to create a space that is safe and allows them to really flourish and thrive in the things that they want to do. So setting up a space that's really clean and only has the things that they're really interested in, and then obviously creating space for that to change constantly.
My favorite part of the house is Christmas decorating.
Christmas decorating. It's Christmas time, isn't it? What's your favorite thing to decorate for Christmas?
The Christmas trees.
Second key is planning out your house. So for me, what that looks like is it being functional and very minimal. So that's kind of the lens that I see my entire home through, whether it be decor, whether it be furniture, whether it be kids' activities, toys, kitchen stuff, all of it has to be functional. And I definitely lean on the minimal side. Everything has a place and a purpose. There's not clutter. We don't have a lot of extra things. We definitely are inspired by the Montessori Method. I would say in multiple areas of life, we have incorporated that. First of all, in our kids' education, in the way that we do some homeschool work, as well as throughout our home. So Montessori, it's really cool. You should look it up, but I love how simple it is. And it talks about the idea of everything having a space and everything having a place, and creating an environment that kind of cultivates and promotes creativity and cleanliness, and how kids actually thrive in those kind of environments. And so creating that space intentionally is so important, even developmentally. And again, there's so many details that you can go into it, but we've incorporated that within our home with the way that we have our toys set up throughout the house. We've got some main areas, obviously the kids' room, and then downstairs in the kitchen area and in the living room, and then the little dining room area. We'll rotate toys, we rotate their clothes, just so it's not overwhelming for them. I found really quickly that it can be really overwhelming if they have a lot of options and they choose a lot of options, pull them down, and then the overwhelming part is picking them up. And it seemed to be just this tension point. And so we discovered that selecting very limited amounts of things made it way more attainable for them to, first of all, enjoy and to learn how to make choices, but then also how to tackle that responsibility and put things away. So I'm a huge fan of the Montessori Method, but I think kind of seeing our house through that lens and planning it out intentionally has been a huge, huge thing for us to really discover and incorporate in our lives. Third key would be our values. Now, I definitely would say that we have a value for quality over quantity, and that looks like so many different things in our house. But especially in the kitchen, we have very minimal utensils and equipment, and I do that intentionally so that we can kind of have a better flow throughout our day, and makes it easier. For example, we literally have 5 plates out, 5 cups, 5 bowls. For a while, I was having very limited silverware as well, and I would just put the extras away in a place that we could get when people were coming over. But I realized that the less we had, the less pile up of dishes we had at the end of the day, and the less constant work it was. So it really created a better flow for our family, and that's a really high value for me, is to be able to have more time to play with the kids rather than managing stuff. Because when it comes down to it, the more stuff you have, the more time it takes to manage that stuff, or to do more laundry with more clothes or what have you. So I have found that to be a huge value for us, especially in this season. And I like to ask myself is, what purpose does our house serve? Now, right now, there's a lot of purposes, and I'm sure for most of you, there's a lot of purposes that you guys, your house fulfills. And plays a role in. So for us right now, that looks like homeschooling. We're business owners, so we primarily work from home. We've got a growing family. We like to host. We like to have play dates. We like to, inspire a space of creativity. So there's a lot of different things that we are working with. And I think keeping that on the forefront of our mind is so important when creating a space that's gonna function well for your family. One thing that was really important to us in this home was, since we don't have an office room, creating office space that was multi-purpose. So in our bedroom, I got really inspired by this blog I found, but we created a full wall length desk with some shelves, really simple, and then little areas to put, all my husband's work stuff and then the homeschool stuff. And so it's multifaceted in that we get to use it for homeschooling. He works there, I work there. It's just a great space to have. Fourth key I would say is taking your time. Now, I definitely embrace this key because I don't like to just buy things to buy things, and I like to have a more long-term mindset when it comes to the things that I'm putting into my home. I want things that are gonna last longer, as well as just be functional. So for example, we moved in here, we knew I was pregnant, we're having a third baby, we have 3 bedrooms, so I wanted to find a bunk bed for the girls' room. So I looked probably on Facebook Marketplace for a good 4 or 5 months, and it finally popped up, the specific exact bunk bed I wanted. So it definitely pays to kind of plan ahead and then also take your time and not just impulse buy. And we ended up saving some money, and it was, like I said, the exact one that we wanted. I think one thing I've learned too is staying away from more of the trendy styles or pieces or things, because trends come and go so quickly. And choosing something that's more sustainable and long lasting is definitely become a priority for us, especially with kids, because life's ever changing. But that's definitely on the forefront of my mind when thinking about, our home and establishing what it is that we want. So I would say creating a plan is really important. Do you want to approach your home one room at a time? Do you want to have big projects and little projects that kind of accompany those big projects? Do you want to take it month by month, depending on where you're at in life and all the things that you're juggling? I think it's so good to really create a plan and just take your time with that plan.